1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Now, if God is the king, what is D-O-M? See the dome, see that dome? That's a beautiful dome. Look at it. Look up at it. Isn't it beautiful? That's the highest part of this structure is the dome. What's the highest part of your structure? Would you mind pointing to the highest part of your structure? And don't you point to your foot. This is your dome. What king is sitting up in your dome? Boy, now that's a heavy question. Who is the ruler in your house, of your house. Oh, doctor. See, now, if you're ruled by hunger, if you're ruled by sex, if you're ruled by desire, then all of those rulers are challenging the king. The king. But if the king, God, Allah, is on the throne in your dome, then you are running this structure, or he's running it in you. And the kingdom of God is a government under the rules and laws of God. Now, if God is running this house, then this house must be subordinated to the rules and laws of the God and the King who governs, who sits on the throne in my dome. Seek ye first the King, and the King in the dome, and he must be the God. And he gives you rules of life, regulations that govern your behavior. And if you seek that first, then the other things, when they come, and they will come, they will never corrupt you. Now, the kingdom of God is built on truth. And what bothers me about us, we just lie. And there's just no reason for it. When I think about lying, I say to myself, who is anybody that I should lie to them? I mean, if there was something that I failed to do and you asked me, did you do it? I have to tell you, no, brother, I'm sorry. You may be disappointed in me. It's better that you be disappointed than me be disappointed in myself for lying. Because I spend my life trying to build character, and one lie starts eating at the foundation of character, because all character is built on truth, honesty, integrity, and that's what too few of us have. Your word don't mean nothing. You claim to be a Muslim, but you have no word. Just like lying. And I'm not talking about common people. I'm talking about people who run show. If I got a liar running the show, what I got? I got what Yaqub had. He made all his laborers liars. And a liar in the top cannot produce truthful people. I'm challenging us today. Stop living lies. Bow tie don't make you no Muslim. Long white dress don't make you a Muslim. You can cover your head, cover your foot to the garment and just drag in the ground. That don't make you holy. If you're a liar under that white dress, you're just a damn liar under that dress. If you're a liar under that bow tie or that fine uniform, a liar is a liar. The uniform can't make you a Muslim. A Muslim is made from the inside out, not no bald head or no shiny face. You can't trust me if I lie to you, I destroy trust with a lie. If I forget or make a mistake, call me on it so I can correct it. But if I just willfully lie and know I'm lying, then I need to step down out of these positions, because a liar should never be in authority, because a liar has already become a thief and a murderer. So all you can do is produce a Yakub civilization. Who is there to lie to if God, already the all-seeing, the all-knowing, knows the truth? So I respect the fact that God, man, I got to have good character. Whether you want it or not, that's on you. But I'm talking about me. I gotta live with me. And in order to live with me, I gotta develop character. And all character is built on truth. And every time you lie, it's like taking a sledgehammer, knocking the foundation out from under your good. Every lie breaks you down. Every truth builds you up. Why do you lie? Because I'm insecure. I'm afraid of consequences, and therefore I lack faith in God. So you see, all three of those words are related. And I leave you with these things to ponder. Try, when you would tell a lie, just think for a moment. And force yourself to speak the truth. And every time you speak the truth, you get stronger in the truth. Every time. But every time you lie and you know you're lying, you just weaken yourself, because, see, the truth supports the universe. A lie supports nothing. Look, you can't fake this, you know. The brothers and sisters that are coming out of the closet, you know. And by that I mean that they were living a life that they were ashamed to make public. So they say, well, you know, I've been gay, or I'm a lesbian. Well, that's telling the truth. You may say, isn't that awful? The gays and the lesbians are having a parade. But they're telling some truth. I'm this. This is what I am. This is what I like. I don't care what you think. But some of us are hiding a whole lot of crap, you know. And we won't even be truthful in our wrong so that our wrong can be corrected. If a person come up and say, well, I'm gay, hey, well, you know what you're dealing with. Whoa. Well, if you're not gay, then how do you bring a gay person to reflect on what pleases God? You have to teach them. You have to teach them what God is pleased with. Not from a condemning point of view, because all of us stand condemned. We're all wrong in something. But if you're going to teach a person, then you have to leave it to them to make the change. But if you're lying to yourself every day, then you will never confront what's wrong with you. You got to stop lying. When I told members of the Jewish community that I wasn't condemning the religion of Judaism as such, he said, "Oh man, Farrakhan now copping out." I said, no. I don't fear you. I don't fear you. God knows the truth, and there's nothing you can do to me unless God pleases. So if I tell you that I did not mean to insult the religion of Judaism, then accept that. Because I'm not a liar. That's wonderful, man, to be able to say, I'm not a liar. That don't mean that I've never told a lie. That's a lie. But what I'm saying to you is, every time you get ready to fix your mouth to tell it, shut up and get it straight. So wait a minute. Take that back. Take that back. Say it right. Now, if you fought 3 men and beat them all up, and you're getting ready to tell your story, if you fought 3 and 1, that's pretty big. Don't yeast it. Oh yeah, man, there was a number that no man could number. See, now you've added to the truth, and you've made the truth into a lie. See, a lot of us, we like to exaggerate. Exaggeration ain't nothing but a lie. If you did it and it was good, don't add to it. Because the moment you add to the truth, you take away from the truth. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Because every time you lie, you undercut your ability to be what only truth can make you into. Now I think we've dealt with fear. And I tell you the truth. I hope and I pray that God will make me fearless. Can God make you fearless? He said, those who believe and are the doers of good to others, there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. I want to be fearless. I'm not fearless. I'm on my way to becoming that. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. The enemy may bring an army to my door. All right, Farrakhan, it's time. I heard Elijah Muhammad say they could bring 10,000 outside my door. I will not be afraid. Why won't you be afraid, Elijah? Because God is with me, and as long as God is with me, there is no army that can defeat me. But you gotta know that God is with you, and he will prove to you that he is with you if you are with him and with truth. God will take little things and begin building your confidence in him. Yes, he will. And after a while, you'll keep on building your confidence until you just become so trusting in him that you don't think nothing, nobody can harm you except it pleases God. Because the arm of the Lord has been revealed to you. And brothers, I can tell you, it is a wonderful feeling to be able to know that you can put your trust in God. Now, I hold myself before you, not a perfect human being, but I'm trying to be an example. I have a lot of critics, but as I said in some speech recently, you don't tell the weight of a man by his friends. You tell the weight of a man by who his enemies are. And if the U.S. government is my enemy, and it's the most powerful government on earth, and the Jews see me as the enemy, and they are certainly my enemy, and they are the most powerful people on earth, then who am I that I have attracted the most powerful enemy to be my enemy? And if that is the beast, and I am a little lamb, and the beast can't eat the lamb, then know that there is a power holding the beast's mouth from eating the little sheep. So every day I get more and more bold. If you listen to my recent speeches, you hear me taking them on now. I'm not boasting in myself, because if I start that, I'm a loser all the way around. No, no, no. I boast in the power of the God that I worship. And he is the God. So the Lord is my strength, and he is my salvation. Of whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom then shall I fear? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. I refuse, man, to let fear get me to give up my faith in God. I love this creation. I love life. I want to live, you know.
Yes, sir.
But death is sweet to me rather than being a punk. I'd rather die a man than to live a punk. Because at least history will say he challenged the forces of evil. They overcame his flesh, but they could not break his spirit. That's why I've grown to love Martin Luther King Jr. along with the great Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because the FBI got all these tapes of Martin Luther King in extramarital affairs, and they told him if he didn't stop criticizing the war in Vietnam, they were going to send these tapes to his wife. And Martin King would not punk. I love him for that. He said, you do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. They sent the tapes to his wife. That's how rotten this government is. They wrote him letters trying to encourage him to kill himself. This is the government. And when he wouldn't kill himself, they killed him. But they can't kill that spirit. They killed Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but they can't kill his spirit. They deported Marcus Garvey, but they can't deport his spirit. They killed Malcolm. He said they were. It wasn't me. They killed Malcolm. Elijah Muhammad lives. Jesus lives. Moses lives. Abraham lives. The righteous live, because you can never kill the righteous. You can only kill the body, but that mind jump into somebody else. So don't you be afraid. When you leave here today, you go out of here convinced that there is a God. Because if there wasn't, Farrakhan would be out of here. But I'm here, brother. And I got news for you. By the help of God, I'm going to be here. And no matter what they do against me, I'm going to be the winner. I can assure you, I'm already the winner. Don't you be afraid. Challenge whatever it is that frightens you. Challenge it. How do you challenge it? Just say, I'm not going to bow down to it. I'm just not going to bow down to it. Your heart beating, your blood pressure's up, but I ain't going to bow down to it. Start with little small things and keep on graduating to the big thing, because the big thing is Satan himself. And if you put your trust in God, you will overcome Satan. And to those who overcome, the tree of life. Do you have faith that you can do it? Then if you exercise faith in God, faith in God will help you challenge your fear. So you got to develop faith. Keep on developing your faith. It's like a seed, but it must be watered, it must be fed, and it will grow strong till you're so strong in faith that whatever you envision, you say be. And it is. I know that's right, because I do it all the time. There is nothing that I want that I cannot achieve. Nothing. You didn't hear me. Nothing. Nothing. This is where the power is. It's in the dome, brother. Who you got in your dome? You got some chump sitting on the throne in your dome? Overthrow that punk and throw him out. Throw him out. And invite the king to come in and sit on the throne. You say, God bless this home. Christ is the head of this house. How can he be the head of your house if he's not in your head? Don't you want him in your head? See, you jiving. See, if Christ is in your head, do you know how much power you got? Say, let this mind be in you, the same that was in Christ Jesus. Do you know what that means? Put the real king on the throne in your dome and surrender to the rules and laws and the government of God, and unseat this old false government that's tricking you every day with the way you think, and let God guide your life. And I guarantee you, in 30 days from today, you won't even know yourself. So don't tell me you poor. I don't want to even hear it. I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money. That's because you ain't got no sense. But you get the right king on the throne in your dome and believe that you can go out from here and make an honest wage and try him. Try him and see if he's God. Call him by his name. His proper name is Allah. Call him by his name. He'll answer by whatever good name you call him, but you try Allah. Turn your face toward the east. Which way is east, man? The way the sun rises. Get up, you'll find out. And the next time I see you, you will tell me how you challenged fear and God gave you a victory. And you challenged fear and your faith in God grew. And then you started dealing with truth. And from now on, whenever you can tell a lie, stop and speak the truth. And don't add to or take away from. Just tell it just like it is, straight. And every time you do it, you'll get stronger in the truth. And before you know it, lie will become so distant from the dome. And when you put him there, be sure to respect him enough to follow his rules and his laws. The fear of God is the beginning of it all. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for listening as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Now, if God
1 2 1 2. Yeah, microphone is functioning.
Stop my video.
Very strange.
No sound. Yes, now we can hear you. Can hear. Yeah, they said we can hear.
Yeah, everybody can hear. Yes, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, family, right now with our main camera. Doesn't seem to be, but can you hear and see us properly? Let us know in the chat, please. In the meantime, I'm going to try to continue just by saying welcome.
You said loud and clear.
Loud and clear, and we're being seen properly. Okay. Well, inshallah, just to say, why is that back on?
I don't know. You didn't switch that one. We can see and hear you perfectly. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Welcome again to another edition of the Image and Nation show. Thank you so much for taking your time out. I was listening to Sister Ava Muhammad. She said, time, that's part of you. You can never get time back. So we really appreciate you taking time to join us this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are on the planet Earth. Excuse our technical difficulties. Last week it was the sound. This week it's the picture. We can't actually see ourselves properly, but it's all good.
Yeah, but if everybody else can see us, that's the most important thing.
Yes.
We can't see ourselves, but you can see us. Praise be to Allah.
Yes.
Just to say, family, don't forget at this time, call a friend, a relative, a loved one. Let them know that the Image Nation show is live on YouTube and also on Zoom. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We want those subscriptions, dear family. DJ Mr. P says, all
you.
good now.
Yes. And
Praise
Stephen
be
Brown
to
and
God.
Sister Marva and 8th Electronics. Thank you all so much for
Wonderful.
helping us along the way.
Wonderful.
It does
wonderful.
help.
Absolutely. And just to say that, we don't know what happens at this time of the year with the weather and with the chemtrails and with all of the germs flying around, but we haven't been 100%. And we just thank Allah for the blessing of life and being able to come to you each and every week, live and direct, on the Image and Nation show. We pray, dear family, that each and every one of you is well and thriving. And really looking forward to a bright future. And what I would say, just listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a few minutes ago, let me tell you something, man. I cannot emphasize enough. Did you hear how many times the minister said stop lying? Because it's one of the great impediments.
That's right.
To a good life.
That's right.
If we are a people who are so fearful of being found out that we just constantly lying, that what's the key to that? What's the solution? Don't do anything that you don't want to be found out about. You see, because we put ourselves in these situations where then we're forced to be lying being fearful
That's
and
right. That's the thing. The minister said, "Who is anybody that you should have to fear, that you have to
absolutely,
lie to? Just tell the truth.
absolutely.
Speak truth regardless."
So dear family, I hope that those of you who are currently tuned in, that you're able to hear that beautiful divine message
That's right.
from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we're going to get right into our subject this evening, because I really don't intend to be long this evening. I always say that, but
Yes, you do.
I'm going to try my best to keep it nice and
So
short.
it's funny. It's coming up on there.
Yeah, this is so strange. That is just so strange. Let's have a look.
And how have we come to the end of October already?
Oh man.
Ah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, end of October, the 31st of October today.
Okay. So I gotta go back. Okay. Let's let's go back, family. Really struggling here this
Are you?
evening.
Okay, well, whilst you're doing that,
Yeah.
just to say greetings to Nighty Night. Greetings, Assalamu alaikum to Ismail Cisse from Sweden. I can see you're saying the weather is dropping fast. Does that mean it's getting colder out there in Sweden? We're having strange weather here.
Well, it's going to be like the same, isn't it? It's going to be the same. You see the way it's getting dark very early. I think in Sweden, it's even worse. I think it gets dark pretty
Really?
early. Yeah. I think that's what Ro was talking about.
Okay. Greetings to Ghosts. Greetings to Annabelle Rastrill. Assalamu alaikum, brother Simon. Assalamu alaikum, brother Stephen Brown. Greetings, 8 Electronics. Assalamu alaikum, Lenora Shepherd. Kulawad Designs. Assalamu alaikum to you. Assalamu alaikum, Adrian Fraser. I can't see that one. Greetings, 147_Savage from Flint, Michigan. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marva Muhammad, all the way in South London.
Wonderful.
And, is that Zakram Allah saying not again? Is that the sound you're saying or the picture? But not again. That's life. We still roll. Got to keep going. Greetings to Abundant Love. Are you ready, Brother Leah?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
And greetings to Cherry B 2020. I think that's it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I mean, again, people are saying that they can see and hear us perfectly. So welcome to episode 154 of the Imagination Show. Today is Thursday, October the 31st, 2024. And our title, dear family, is Halloween, Trick or Treat, the Fear and Tricknology Industry. Halloween, Trick or Treat, the Fear and Tricknology Industry.
Okay, before you go into that, our brother Ronald Thompson is saying from Birmingham, England, I hope Christians and Muslims are not allowing their children to celebrate Halloween.
Absolutely, beloved. One of the reasons why we keep an eye on the seasons and we deal with these issues as they come up, because of course, everybody should be aware today is the 31st of October, that which they call Halloween. Okay, so, it seems like these seasons will come around, these so-called European holidays will come around, these celebrations, these events. And if you're not careful, you find yourself roped in to all manner of stuff and not knowing what you're roped into. And so, we feel it's incumbent on us, it's a duty that, what knowledge we have gained about these things, that we share it with our brothers and sisters, because, it's a very sad thing when, as a result of ignorance, we get ourselves involved in things that will only in the end damage us or hurt us or cause us to be in the disfavor of Almighty God, Allah. We've got to understand, brothers and sisters, that we live in a satanic world. It's, I mean, I get a little snivel, a little cold or something like that, and I can't even be clear and sure that this is some natural thing. I have to start thinking about, what these people are putting in the water, what they're spraying in the air, what's in the fruits, or what they've sprayed on the fruits. We have to be so, because that's the kind of world that we live in. And it's not like we're making stuff up or we're so-called conspiracy theorists. It's a reality that when you do a rudimentary look at the behavior or at the so-called powers that be, the corruption is just the corruption and the evil is just off the scale. It's really off the scale. And so hence why we're dealing with this evening. Halloween, trick or treat, the fear and Tricknology industry. Dear family, I hope you are all good. Myself and Sister Claudia, last week we were really praying hard to, and again, I'm saying that because I really want to encourage all of us to pray. You may not think so, but there's a tremendous power in prayer. When we can reach outside of ourselves to that which is bigger than ourselves, when we can go deep within ourselves to that which is within ourselves, which is unseen, but it's absolutely powerful and awesome. When we can make that connection,
that's right,
you see, between the creator of the heavens and the earth and ourselves, because we are children of the Most High God. We are related to the creator, dear family. And we have an enemy who is working overtime to sever our links with our creator. Dear family, the origins of Halloween can be traced back to the ancient pagan Celtic festival known as Samhain. Now, I know that that's how it's spelt, but it's not actually pronounced like that. It's like Sorhain or some Sorhain is how they really say it. But Samhain is an ancient pagan Celtic festival where the dead, witches, demons, spirits, ghosts, and the underworld were worshipped with blood sacrifices, including the ritual sacrifice of children, including the ritual sacrifice of children. Hence why you see the children are the ones who are encouraged to go out trick-or-treating and all of this kind of stuff. That's going all the way back to the hills and cave sides of Europe, going all the way back into ancient Scotland and Ireland and the so-called British Isles, when they were practicing these pagan festivals during those dark times. And so, dear family, it included the ritual sacrifice of children because the ancient Druids believed that at this time of the year, when summer ends and winter begins, it's a time of death and darkness that needed to be fully embraced so that evil would be a friend and not an enemy. Just think about that. They were so afraid of the dark and afraid of, evil spirits and ghosts and ghouls and these things that they believed in, that they felt like the way to overcome that was to embrace evil, embrace darkness, embrace negativity, and they would offer these blood sacrifices. Hence why in today's practice, you see, they go and they say trick or treat, and they get sweets or they give something and they get something in return. This is all a throwback to the sacrifices that they would make. And literally some of these pagans were so devilish that they would be literally offering their children to these so-called ancient gods, these demons and these devils that they were worshipping. But the Europeans effectively embraced a satanic, dark, ritualistic, and wicked way of life. Hence, I mean, just think about it. Why would you every year you go out and buy a pumpkin and start cutting it up and trying to make it look as ugly?
That's right.
Trying to make it look as ugly as possible, cutting out some crazy, this is why I put this image here, cutting out some eyes and mouth and all this kind of stuff to try and make something look scary or make something look demonic. And this is what you do every year.
That's right.
At this time on the 31st of October and on the 1st of November. There's like a 3-day type of period when this thing continues. But I'm just letting you know that it's pagan through and through. It's about worshiping the devil. It is about blood sacrifice. It is about something which is devoid of God. It's removed from God. So don't lie to yourself and kid yourself that this is something that we can continue to practice and do, and that it's just harmless. Let's just be very, very clear, dear family, about what we're doing at this time of the year. Now, in the Holy Quran, chapter 5, verse 90, it says, "O you who believe, intoxicants and games of chance." Now, just to stop there a second, because, intoxicants, alcohol, okay? Because again, you'll find that in this time period, we love to go and drink, just like these other holidays. We like to have it's like a special time. And so all of a sudden, let's get the drinks out. Okay, so oh you who believe, intoxicants and games of chance. Games of chance is gambling. All right, gambling. Games of chance and sacrificing to stones set up and dividing by arrows are only an uncleanness, the devil's work. So shun it. This is the Holy Quran telling you, don't go near this practice. Don't get involved in all of this, games of chance and gambling and all the rest of it. So shun it, that you may succeed, because success comes when we are in obedience to the laws and statutes of God as he's laid them out in the scriptures, as opposed to ignoring them and going along with the satanic practices. He says, so shun it that you may succeed. Whether we understand it or not, dear family, the national lottery is one of the biggest deceptive games that can be called trick or treat. And it's been played on everyday people who in turn squander billions of pounds, billions of dollars gambling on the lottery in the vain hope that they will win millions and solve all their problems. I remember reading years ago that the first black person, or at least one of the first, I don't know if he was the exact first, but the one black man who won the lottery, he ended up in prison.
Oh, really?
Within a short space of time, they arrested him, locked him up.
Why?
Because they said that he was, I don't know if people will understand this terminology, but they said he was ringing cars. Prior to him winning the lottery, he was in this criminality of taking cars, falsifying their serial numbers and things of that nature, and then selling them or whatever.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, once he's won the lottery now and he's got these, a lot of money, all of a sudden they discovered that he was a criminal and he was locked up. Yeah, but it just seemed to me like almost like, okay, you think you're going to enjoy this money or whatever. We got a way of taking it back from you, because these things were never set up for us. They're not set up, dear family, for any of us to scratch a card or mark some little bits of paper that we go and spend 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds on each week, throwing our money away, money that could go to feed our families and pay our bills and so on and so forth, or even save to, do something greater for ourselves and our families in our future.
That's right.
But here we go, games of chance, thinking that somehow we're going to be able to get rich quick, because this is the idea, and this is the false promise of these things. That's why it's a trick or a treat. It's never a treat, right. Dear family. Yeah, just because somebody's giving you a sweet, it doesn't mean at the end of the day that you're really being treated. Because again, if we don't even know how to consume sweets and then brush our teeth after we've consumed the sweet, but we're going to bed with the sugar all on the enamel of our teeth, and then we wonder why we wake up with cavities and our teeth destroyed, because it's not necessarily a treat unless we know how to handle this so-called treat. So trick or treat is really the carrot that's dangled before us to make us think that something is on offer. But in reality, what we're exposing ourselves to is just trickery. It's all trickery. The amount of money that the National Lottery earns from the ignorance of the masses of the people. I mean,
those millions of people.
My God. I mean, it's like, I don't know what the equivalent is in America, whether they call them bookies, but here you got the bookie shop, the betting shop, the betting offices. And you'll have men who will spend their whole days in these places betting on horses, betting on dogs, races and things, trying to win money. And they spend so much time in this pursuit that they're literally losing hundreds and thousands of pounds or dollars, whatever the currency might be that they're using. And then every now and then they'll win £200 or £300 or £56 or £79. And they're all excited. Oh, but you haven't won anything. No. You've given them 10, 15, 20, 30 times the amount that you just won. It's a trick.
And what's the saying? You've got to be in it to win it.
To win it. Yeah, you got to be in the bookie shop. Yes. No, well, as long as you're in that bookie shop, dear family, as long as you're in that betting office, you're never, ever going to be the winner. And the lottery, like I said, they say, oh, the lottery helps out a lot of good causes. They're very clever.
They are.
Honestly, these people, man, because again, they give a certain amount of money to particular certain causes or whatever. So they say. But at the end of the day, it's like the money, for instance, that they give in aid to these African countries. I guarantee you, family, when they give us £10 in aid, they're taking 20, 30, 50 pounds out of Africa. That's the reality that we got to understand, that they're never, ever genuinely giving us aid. That's just a trick, again, to make us believe that they are philanthropic, giving us something, when in reality, the bulk of what is happening in the transaction is what they're taking out. That's in terms of our minerals and our resources, and all of the things that we never ever get to enjoy or use for ourselves on the continent. But that goes to servicing the Western world and keeping them living in luxury, while our people generally just live in poverty. This is how it works. We're dealing today with trick or treat. Trick or treat. Okay, we're dealing today with Halloween. And like I said, family, I really don't intend to be long this evening. We're going to try and have a very swift, rapid show. Sister Claudia, hold me to that, please. But we just want to really touch on this season and what it really means. Like so many other pagan practices, Halloween, like Christmas, Easter, and many other Christian and European holidays, have been trivialized, normalized, and given to the children of the world as innocent and harmless fun, while nothing could be further from the truth, because people have and are being conditioned
Hmm.
to worship devilishment and to fall in love with the doing of evil in the name of having fun. You know, these little games that they're like tarot cards and, you know, palm reading and all these kind of things. You know, that all this stuff is all forbidden, you know, family. You know, and you know, these they have these seances. This is, I think this is what this sort of image is all about, you know, where everybody's sitting around a table in the dark, Ouija board, and you know, everybody puts their hand on a glass or whatever, and then
it starts moving by itself.
Moving by itself.
The table starts shaking.
Oh, come on, family. Let me tell you something. You see how vulnerable we are when we fall for all this superstitious stuff and all this scary ghosty stuff, and you go into a room and there's some crazy woman in there telling you about, oh yeah, she's gonna contact your dad who died 15 years ago, or she's gonna contact your mum who passed away 40 years ago, or whatever. You know, they're gonna contact your child who tragically passed away, and man, we're just being played. But having said that, see, it's also people who are practicing what they sometimes refer to as the dark arts. You know, they're into some evil practices, some devilishment, some mischief making. And, you know, there's a lot of people who really believe in this stuff, and they like to experiment and play around and, you know, really believe that somehow they can operate outside of the laws and the statutes that God has laid down for the human being, for humanity. And what I'm suggesting humbly to all of us is that we shouldn't get ourselves involved in such things. We really ought to try and keep our minds and our hearts as clean as we possibly can. And really, there are only some very basic things that we need to do. You know, like we need to eat good food, healthy food. You know, we need to exercise, you know, family. We need to pray. We need to fast. We need to learn how to abstain from food sometimes and actually do that cleansing, that cleaning of ourselves, you know. We need to meditate. You know, we need to learn how to be quiet and just really listen for the voice of God that comes from within. You know, we need to be able to do these very basic and simple things, but not start to experiment with madness. You know, where the most honorable Elijah Muhammad says in Message to the Black Man that, you know, the devil or the white man or people could be charged with lying in teaching the people about a God that they themselves say doesn't exist. Even in Christianity, you know, they say, oh, God is dead. God died. He died. What are you talking about? God can't die, dear family. And then they superimpose Jesus onto God, making Jesus God. Or they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, making three into one. I mean, I'm saying, dear family, with deep humility, you know, these are satanic people who we have been taking these teachings from, who have been our teachers, who have been the people who have attempted to hoodwink us in false and fake religion. You see, understand this, you know, we are members of the Nation of Islam, but I'm telling you straight up, we're not too big into no religion. You know, we're not just this religious group. Yeah, our belief system is a way of life. You know, we're not into practicing a religion on a particular day. See, Muslims go to the mosque on Friday, Christians go to church on Sunday, Jews go to the synagogue on Saturday. Stop it. And what are we doing for all these other days? That's right. Robbing, stealing, lying, doing all kinds of evil in the name of Jesus, in the name of Muhammad, in the name of God. Stop it, family. We have to appreciate that, Almighty God Allah is not the author of confusion.
That's right.
He don't make no confusing nonsense for us to have to, go into any kind of witchcraft to work out what this life is all about. He's laid it out. It's very, very simple, you see. And some of us, we've become so sophisticated. But if there's a definition of the word sophisticated, which means to be spoilt. Some of us have become so sophisticated that we can't take simple things. If it's not mind-blowingly complex and stupid, where we can't once we can't understand what the person who's speaking to us is saying, then we say, yeah, man, yeah, that's deep, that's deep. Stop
but then
it.
You can't understand it.
Because you can't understand what's being said.
As in, shouldn't you be able to understand?
You're supposed to be able to understand,
right.
family. The thing is supposed to be 2 and 2 makes 4. Okay? 8 and 8, 16. And you can count and prove it for yourself. Come on, man. I hope we get it, because like I said, I'm not going to belabor the point. Dear family, the man of sin is being revealed, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that a wise black scientist named Yaqub gave the knowledge of tricks to the people he had grafted from original to enable them to rule over the original people. This knowledge of tricks was called Tricknology and gave power to those who used it to rule by deceit. See what they understand how we're ruled. See, because I know we think that we're ruled by might and power, and these people are not powerful, family. We're ruled by deception, by deceit. There's so much trickery being played on us that, have you heard the story, Sister Claudia, about the elephant who, when the elephant was small, they put a big chain on the elephant's leg. And basically, every time the elephant would try to move beyond where the chain would allow it to go, the chain would stop it.
Yeah.
And that they kept that process in place for a number of years. And then at a certain point in time, they could put a little string around the elephant's foot, and the elephant would only move to the degree where it was trained to go. And it never understood that if it wanted to go further, it could go and just snap that string. You see, but it had been conditioned. It'd been conditioned. And this is how we've been tricked.
That's right.
Where we think that we've got all of these limitations on us. We can't do this, and we can't do this, and we can't do that, and black people this and black people that. And we spend so much time crying about how powerful our enemies are, when in reality, the power lies with us. The power lies with our God.
Yes.
You see? But, go ahead.
Well, that's why I'm one. I really don't like the schooling system.
No.
Because when the teachers always say, oh, your son or your daughter, they can only achieve this grade. I just think, be quiet.
Exactly.
You don't know anything about the child.
Exactly.
But that is them. They
setting limitations.
Setting limitations to our children so that they can only reach so high, which is so low in reality. So this is why we need our own. We need to, you can go as high as you want to go.
Absolutely.
No limits. We're from a God.
There is no limit.
No limits whatsoever.
There is no limit in terms of what you can achieve, brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
And we're not just talking about children either.
No, adults.
Talking about any one of us who makes a determination that they're going to build their faith in God and build their faith in themselves.
That's right.
And so
got to defy logic in this world.
That's right. That's right. We in the scripture, in the teachings, we're taught to have faith above knowledge.
That's right.
See, faith above knowledge, because what you think you know, what I think I know, dear family, faith will take us way beyond what we think we know. This knowledge of tricks was called Tricknology and gave power to those who used it to rule by deceit. We know that the FBI played 2,000 dirty tricks, according to their own memos, against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they all failed. Why did they fail? Who was backing the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad? What kind of faith did that man have? Where they were mocking him, saying, oh, you're trying to free black people. That's like trying to put trousers on an elephant. But how did the messenger respond? How did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad respond? Well, I've already got one of the trousers leg on the elephant. You see? He wasn't fazed by that kind of mockery. You see? Because at the end of the day, dear family, they tried everything to destroy the nation of Islam. They tried everything to destroy him.
That's right.
We know that the FBI played 2,000 dirty tricks, according to their own memos, against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they all failed. This was all part of the effort to stop the rise of a black messiah. Now it is revealed that an actual manual of tricks put together by the CIA with the help of a master magician was used in the training of CIA and FBI operatives. Because I don't know how many of us appreciate what these people use, and that it's tricks and lies. It's not what we think.
No.
Everything is trickery. They trick us into thinking, that they're so powerful, and they make us afraid based on tricks. It's a trick. You find yourself as a black man and a black woman being scared to death of an enemy that has no authority, has no power in reality, especially in this day and time, because whether we properly appreciate it or not, we're now living in the time of Almighty God Allah. The enemy's time to rule is up. Where is this episode found in the scriptures? What we were just talking about. Where can you find that in the scriptures? In the Holy Quran, chapter 7, verses 109 to 118, it says the following. It says, the chiefs of Pharaoh's people said, surely this is a skillful enchanter. This is when they encounter Moses, Musa, and Aaron. They're talking about the man of God. This is the same as, they're talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They're talking about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Listen to their language. Listen to the chiefs of Pharaoh's people. They said, surely this is a skillful enchanter. By the way, the word enchanter in some of the translations, it's magician. Magicians, okay? The magicians. Enchanter, magician, it's the same thing. He intends to turn you out of your land. They're terrified that the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, will turn them out of the land, will return the land to the rightful owners, i.e. the so-called Native Americans, i.e. the Aborigines in Australia, i.e. the Africans, and so on and so forth. This is what terrifies them. He intends to turn you out of your land. What do you advise? They're asking advice from their council, from the people that are in Pharaoh's court. They said, put him off and his brother. This is talking about Moses and Aaron. This is talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Put him off and his brother, and send summoners into the cities to bring to thee every skillful enchanter. Go and get our magicians. Go and get those who are skilled in tricks and lies. Bring to thee every skillful enchanter. And the enchanters came to Pharaoh, saying, we must surely have a reward if we prevail. See, you see, this is the 30 pieces of silver that you sometimes hear about in the scriptures, you see, where Judas sold the people out, sold Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver. See, these people, they do these things for money. A lot of our people, a lot of these African leaders that you see absolutely selling out their own people to the West, a lot of these so-called Caribbean leaders, it's just for money. It's just for status and so-called power and whatever else they're being offered. And so listen to them. We must surely have a reward if we prevail against the men of God, against Moses, against Aaron. This is Pharaoh talking. He said, yes, and you shall certainly be of those who are near to me. You know, some of us, we're so desperate to be near to white people who we perceive to be powerful, who we perceive to be in control and running things. And again, I've got to say, you know, whether it's P. Diddy or any of these people, you know, we get lulled into this false sense of security where we think we've arrived because they allow us to earn millions or billions of dollars, and then we're allowed into their social equality, and then we start to do the same things that they do, and we start to drink the same alcohol that they drink, and we start to engage in the same filthy behavior that they do in these places, not realizing that when it all comes on top, when it implodes, when it's discovered, we're going to be the first ones that's going to be thrown to the wolves. We're going to be the first ones that's going to be prosecuted. And so Pharaoh says, he said, yes, and you shall certainly be of those who are near to me. They said, oh, Moses, this is now the enchanters, the magicians talking to Moses. Oh, Moses, wilt thou cast, or shall we be the first to cast? Moses said, go ahead, man, do your thing, cast. So when they cast, they deceived the people's eyes and overawed them. And they produced a mighty enchantment. See these people, their family that we're dealing with, they are magicians on another level. And so much of what they do have us, the people, in awe. Okay? And it's very difficult to even begin to believe that God could raise a man, a black man, an ordinary man from among the people who would be able to challenge such magicians, such enchanters who can produce what they produce in the world of enchantment and, you know, awe. You remember when they attacked Iraq? What do they call it? Shock and awe. See? And that shock and awe, you imagine, these people go around the world, they say, oh, well, you know, they remember they were threatening Saddam. They said he has to leave his own country. Remember they said that about Assad in Syria. He has to leave. This is what they do. They got their regime change. Right. Putin has to be overthrown in Russia. They're so arrogant. But this is and then they employ shock and awe. They bomb people. They murder people. They've killed so many of the Hezbollah leaders. They've killed so many of the Hamas leaders in recent times. And it's shock and awe. These are the magicians. They're showing you how powerful they are. But dear family, it's still all trickery.
Absolutely.
They're not what we think they are. They are magicians. Oh, Moses, wilt thou cast, or shall we be the first to cast? Moses said, cast. So when they cast, they deceived the people's eyes and overawed them. And they produced a mighty enchantment. And we, God talking, and we revealed to Moses, cast thy rod. Then lo, it swallowed up their lies. See? Now understand this. It's not an accident that it says it swallowed up their lies, because the main deception that they use, the main thing that you and I have to be on guard against is the lying, deceiving devil. And it's lies that he tells. Okay? And he puts the lies in such a way that they replace the truth. You see? He makes lies to be the order of the day. And when we can begin to discern the lies that are being told, then this is how Moses, Musa, Aaron was able to swallow up those lies, destroy those lies, consume those lies, and win out in the day. So it says, go ahead, sister.
No, I was going to say, because if you notice, it says skillful skillful enchanter.
Yes.
And you always ask somebody, well, what's your skills? What are you good at? So
Yeah,
that's
well,
showing you've been trained.
yes.
There's a particular mindset that is behind the enchanters, where they've been trained to trick
Yes.
people, but in a skillful
ways.
way.
Skillful. It's not no, I mean, again, you got to look at magicians, okay?
Absolutely.
Look at magicians and look at the way in which, with sleight of hand and all manner of deceptive means, how they can make you believe that they've caused something to disappear in front of your eyes, or something to appear. You know, I mean,
it's always the black people that go running off.
We run off. We can't we can't believe it, and we run off.
Yeah.
You know,
you know, imagine they're showing us, they make us think, oh, we chop somebody in half.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Exactly. And we revealed to Moses, cast thy rod, then lo, it swallowed up their lies. So the truth was established, and that which they did became null and void. That which the enemy did became null. This is what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan represents.
That's right.
Those who God has given a rod of correction. You see, given a rod that will absolutely swallow up the lies of the enemy and cause all that they do, all that they've established, to become null and void. Dear family, I hope you are following what we are trying to deal with this evening when we're looking at Halloween, trick or treat, and this Tricknology industry. A Tricknology industry. It's an industry of lies. Based on these attempts to stop the rise of a Black Messiah and to overcome the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, according to what is written in this book by H. Keith Melton and Robert Wallace, the CIA used a famous magician for his tricks and lies during the Cold War, and the CIA hired America's most famous magician to write a manual on the art of trickery, concealment, and secret communications during the Cold War. I'm really trying to emphasize this. Everything is a trick.
Absolutely.
Everything is a trick that these people use, use to control the entire planet. And they've been doing that now for 6,000 years. In reality, you can say 4,000 years, because for the first 2,000 years of their existence, they ended up on their all fours like wild creatures in the hills and cave sides of Europe. And they've only really been ruling for the last 4,000 years. But in that time, they've been using a methodology called Tricknology. And they are very, very skilled, dear family. You know, see, this book says declassified, because again, everything is hidden, everything is secret, everything is done in a manner that is about deception. See, I don't care how deceptive you think you are. I'm talking to Black people now, you know, I don't care how deceptive you think you are. You are a baby in deception when it comes to this white man. And I'll say this again, dear family, even for those of us who think that, well, you know, he can't deceive me, please be careful of that kind of arrogance. The only reason why I believe that I'm able to see through a lot of the deception is because I'm following the man of God.
That's right.
Who's been shown the reality of the deceiver. You see, the reality of the liar, who was a liar from the beginning. And the nature of him is lies. The only reason why I can have confidence that I'm able to resist the wiles of Satan and the lies of Satan and his minions, his dumb devils, is because I'm trying to follow that divinely guided one who has been raised by God to be a guide to those of us who want to be able to extricate ourselves and not become victimized by the liar. But if we think that we're so heavy and we're so wise that we can't be fooled by this devil, I'm telling you, man, you can't even begin to understand how every fiber of his being is to trick and lie.
That's right.
He don't know no other way. I heard somebody say one time, how can you tell when a politician is lying? When he opens his mouth, when he's talking. And I move away from the politician and just say the white man. You see, because that's the reality, dear family, of who and what you and I are dealing with. It's codified in the scriptures. He was a liar and a murderer from the beginning.
It's all in the book.
It's written. It's written. You see, there is no truth in him. Can't help himself. Can't help himself. That's just what he does.
Yeah, it's all in the book, and then we try and change it. Like, oh no, that can't be right. No, that can't be true. No, it's
I was
in the book.
Yeah, but I was reading the Bible, and how the Bible is so clear about pigs and pork being an abomination.
Yes.
Then I was reading something written by some Christians who were saying that, oh no,
does that mean that?
No, that's all changed now because Jesus said that once the food has been blessed, then it's not. I said, oh my God. You see, but no, but somebody taught them that. Somebody taught them that, for instance, even with the devil, he'll give you pork and he'll say, oh, this is cured.
It's been cured
pork.
from its illness.
Yeah, this pork has been cured. And you see, the word cure, just that alone tells you that, well, it must have been ill.
Sick.
Yeah. It must have been sick. It must have been poisoned for it to now be cured. But in reality, dear family, guess what? You cannot cure pork. You cannot cure that divinely prohibited flesh. It is riddled with the Tricknology worm through and through. And even the worms, they will go into like a cyst, hard. And once you consume that food and it goes into your digestional tract and the acids within your stomach, they wake up those worms. And they go to work and do what those worms, what the Tricknology worm does, and you end up dying from trichnosis.
Disgusting.
But yeah, I'm saying, family, you can take it or leave it. If you don't understand what we're saying when we say that this man is so tricky that
so tricky.
Imagine, just let me just use examples because these are things that people take for granted now. You're being told that a man can give birth. You're being told that a child born as a male can become a female. You're being told that a female can become a male. Just think about what you've been told. But understand that any of those individuals that we just mentioned, that little girl, that little boy, none of them could be here unless a man and a woman got together.
That's right.
God's design.
That's right.
And he never made no mistakes,
That's
family.
Right. No mistake.
He knew exactly what he was doing when he made male and female. Created he them both.
No mistake, no error.
There's no error there, beloved. But the enemy will have you to believe that somewhere along the line, God made some serious errors, some serious mistakes, and now you've got other forms of sexes. There's more than, it's not just male and female. No, man, you've got Aphrodites and trans, and I mean, family.
And
Go
that's
ahead.
why we all need to study Message to the Black Man. Because when we talk about Yakub and grafting, I'm thinking, how can you graft? Watch what we're seeing today with
Yes,
male and females. You
absolutely,
see?
absolutely. And you see, family, even I was thinking about this, Sister Claudia, some of these people, when you speak to them or you listen to them,
Yes.
and they're it's evidently it's a man, but he now believes that he's a woman, and he will say to you, with the utmost sincerity, this is how I was born. This
Yes,
this
yes.
is natural. And hear what I'm about to say to you. He may not even be lying.
Yeah.
But what you've got to understand is the power of the mind. You see, when we say you are what you eat, when we say as a man thinketh, so is he. As a woman thinketh. See, if you've been conditioned to think in a particular way, the mind is so powerful that it can literally even begin to change your physiology. Not that you're not going to grow no penis if you were born with a vagina. It's not going to happen. That's why they have to do the mutilation and the surgery and whatever, and vice versa.
They're actually growing them in labs, knowing these people.
Right, but
scientists.
No, but for real, but you can soften your skin, you can soften your voice, you can all manner of physiological things can begin to take place just based alone on your thinking. You can become very effeminate, you can develop a broken wrist, and all of that just based on the way you think, and even sometimes based on how your mother and father were thinking in the process of your birth and your creation. Go ahead, sister.
Well, I was going to say, to add to that, that's why the food, it's all in the water.
It's not
So
just the
somebody
water.
can
Yeah.
sincerely say,
Yeah.
oh no, I was born
Yeah.
because
They're
we're dealing
putting
with high-tech scientists.
That's right. Estrogen.
Yes.
They got all this estrogen in the water now.
Absolutely.
I mean, dear family, this is what we said. We started off actually talking about the air and the water and what they're spraying on
right.
I mean, understand that the deception is such that they are manufacturing all manner of pseudo human beings today.
That's right.
Okay. And even when it comes to some of the CIA and other secret agents programs like MK Ultra and these things, I mean, where they're mind altering drugs and mind altering procedures and techniques that they're using on people. I mean, there's some serious stuff going on, family, where they can create what they call a Manchurian candidate, where the person is like in a trance and they can suggest something to them either via the telephone or in some other manner, and have this person go and start doing some crazy stuff. I mean,
everything is deceitful in this world. Everything.
And for some people, oh man, you lot are just
no.
But that's the thing. I'm saying, when you don't understand that you're living in an environment that is satanic.
Absolutely.
And Satan is not under the ground.
That's right.
Satan has not got a pitchfork and red skin or black skin and two horns and a tail. Satan is a man. Satan and his minions are people.
That's right.
Okay? Human beings who are beasts in human form. They don't feel like you. Some language that sometimes they call them sociopaths, psychopaths. These are like, when you think about a sociopath, people who have no empathy, no feeling, no psychopathic people, they're just murderers and killers. These people, and you think, oh, there's some little program that you can employ and then you can change them back into, no, you're not changing these people. That's who they are. That's their purpose in life, is to be berserkers. It's to be vandals. It's to be killers and murderers and rapists. This is what they do. Their whole existence is geared towards the destruction of other human beings. Understand this. You got some people like that on the planet, and they are literally beasts in human form.
That's right.
They don't think like you and I. They don't feel like you and I. They don't have empathy like you and I. And that's why when you see some of the things that's going on and you can't understand, you're thinking, well, how can they do that? Well, because you're judging them from who you are.
That's right. Our mind just doesn't go there.
Right. You can't go there because you haven't got that type of mentality, that type of classification. I hope you get it, family. One of the ways in which evil has been made fair seeming and horror as a genre has become just a part of normal everyday consumption is through the Hollywood horror movie industry, which has been designed to desensitize the human heart and mind to the most wicked and depraved practices of murder, mutilation, rape, and the most unspeakable suffering on cinema and TV screens, all in the name of thrill-seeking and entertainment, not to mention what our children are looking at on their mobile devices. Understand, family. This industry, this horror movie industry, this horror that is viewed as entertainment. Just think about a culture like that. Because okay, we're Black people, a lot of us on here, and we've been brought up in America, we've been brought up in the UK, we've been brought up in the Caribbean. And so what we don't appreciate is that back in the Holy Land, back in the East, back in Africa and the places where we originate from, beloved, we never had no such thing as horror, that we would be wallowing in horror and reveling in bloodletting and chopping up people, and that's just not.
That's not us.
But now, because our whole life has been that, we've seen that all the time. I remember when I was a young boy in Jamaica, somebody in the family did have a TV in Montego Bay. And I remember it was 1963. I was about around 5 years old. So now you all know my age. But the Kennedy had been killed, and his funeral was on the television. And I remember seeing that on the TV, looking, there was a little boy with short trousers. I think it was obviously one of his sons, Bobby Kennedy Jr., maybe one of the sons anyway of John F. Kennedy, as this carriage went past with the coffin and whatever. And I remember seeing that on the TV. And I remember around about that time seeing another show that was on the TV, not seeing the shows in full, just seeing little bits. But I remember there was a show called The Untouchables, and it was black and white. And it was like one of the first times I was actually seeing white people, but it was on the TV. And that was just so scary, that my first view of them and the music that was being played, the way the thing sounded, The Untouchables, and the way they were, and it was like shooting. They were just shooting, and there was people wearing these hats. What do you call those hats? Is it trilby? That sort of gangster hats, and the dark coats and all the rest of it, kind of thing. But I remember just as a child seeing that, and it was such a strange thing to see, because I've never seen anything like that as a boy growing up in beautiful, bright, sunshine Jamaica, mango trees and guinea and a star apple and just running up and down and just, you know, it's a totally different reality, different environment. But I remember it had a profound effect on me when I saw that. That. I saw that, The Untouchables. Then there was another thing that I saw, and it was the one-armed man, Richard Kimball. And these are shows way down now in the 60s, see? That I was just seeing little glimpses of on the TV, because we never sat down and watched no TV or nothing like that. As children, we weren't even allowed to be in the room, I don't even think, when the television, this was just in passing, I saw little images like that.
Oh,
but
fedora hat for the Stevenson.
Fedora, yeah, sort of, yeah. But fedora is more, it's more those Spanish, like the white hats, but I'm talking about more the gangster. I don't know what you call those. Is it a trilby? I don't know. But yeah, I guess it could be a fedora style type of hat, but I'm talking about more the black gangsters. The gangsters used to dress in those old movies. But yeah, Richard Kimball, the original one, not the other films that they made. And I remember it just looked scary to me as a boy, as a child, that these people, it seemed like all they did was kill and fight and murder. That was my initial imagery that I got, and as it related to white people on that little screen, on that little box in Jamaica, in Montego Bay.
Did you watch The Fugitive? And he said The Fugitive.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Richard
Kimball, the one-armed man. That's what it was. It was The Fugitive. It was The Untouchables. Elliot Ness on the night of February the 25th, 1922. Elliot Ness, you'd hear this voice, and it was just weird. And they were shooting, always, and they were using submachine guns on the streets, killing each other. And then The Fugitive was the other one with the doctor, Richard Kimball. I think he'd been accused of, later on, I learned all of this later, but he was a man who was accused of, I think in the modern film, Harrison Ford played the character of Dr. Richard Kimball, who is accused of killing his wife, but he didn't do it. And so he goes on the run, and he's been chased. In what I was looking at in Jamaica, he was on the run. You know, from people trying to, some one-armed man who was trying to kill him. So, but yeah, with one arm, yeah.
How did he shoot him?
No, but he was dangerous. It was, you know, it was the whole thing. Even for me, I would say, in those days, that was a horror film for me, because I'd never, like I said, I'd never seen, I'd never been exposed to white people up to that point in my life. I'd seen a few of them at a distance in Jamaica, driving past where we lived or something like that, but I'd never really seen them up close and personal. So, dear family, what we're saying is that, you know, so much of what we have accepted has been given to us through the screen, either the big screen or the TV screen from Hollywood, and it's been normalized to make us to think that horror somehow can be entertainment.
Yes, how it's entertainment.
Somebody getting hacked to death is fun. It's entertainment. It's or it's designed to give you a thrill and make you afraid. But it's entertainment. Go ahead.
Like how they like to do those films where a group of friends all go out to, they're staying together
for the weekend in a haunted house.
One by one, they get murdered.
Right, exactly.
It's entertaining.
Right, exactly. But this is the point I'm trying to get across. That, see, that's what we've been given.
That's right.
And so we think that that's normal, but that's not normal.
That's right.
This is what I'm saying to you. This is what we've accepted as a normal form of entertainment. But how is that entertainment? How is it entertainment to see a man with an axe stalking a woman? But that's what we're given as entertainment, dear family. The horror industry is a part of their whole makeup. It's a part of their lifestyle. It's a part of their mentality. That's who they are. And now some of us as black people, we bought into it, thinking that this is normal. And then I remember black people tried to make a horror film called Blackula, and it was like a joke. It was a comedy. It was pathetic. Blackula, based on Dracula.
Ridiculous.
Remember Dracula, Frankenstein? My God, family. I hope you get this, because this is all coming from those paganistic origins of these people. I just put up a few of the type of films. I mean, there's thousands, okay, but these are just few of the more well-known ones. Night of the Living Dead. They Won't Stay Dead. Yeah, Halloween. The Night He Came Home. Silence of the Lambs. You remember Hannibal Lecter, a serial killer who's. I mean, honestly, but again, these things make me laugh, because I know that so many of us as black people, as original people, we've fallen right into this. We love it. We're going out. You could not pay me to go and watch a horror film.
And I don't know if they do it in America, but over here they have Thought Park, the theme park, where they do Fright Night.
Fright Night. Yeah. Fright Night. So you're gonna go on a ride.
Yeah. So I don't know what they do. I think it's all scary things.
Yeah, it's one of those fun fair type rides that you go on, but then they've incorporated into it ghouls and ghosts and then obviously the infamous Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, Norman Bates
with his mum.
Murdering women, I think, in a hotel that him and his mum ran or something like that. But this is
entertainment.
Yeah, this is entertainment,
but
family.
That's their life. That's these people.
Yeah, this is what they do. This is and murder and mutilation. And in that Psycho, when he starts to stab the woman in the shower, then you got the music. And this all go. You see, do you understand that with black people, with white people and black people, we even view these things completely differently? Completely differently. Do you know that as a black person, we're actually ill affected by what that we take in this horror into our eyes, and it goes into our psyche, and it actually ill affects us? Do you appreciate, family, that when that movie The Exorcist came out, that it was reported widely in the media that there were many, many people who were fainting during the showing of the movie, but what they didn't tell you was that the vast majority of the people who succumbed and actually fainted were black people. See?
Yeah, we take it on.
We take it on. With the white people, they just reflect it. It don't mean nothing. That was wicked, mate. Oh, I loved it. Oh, do you see when her head turned around, mate? But for black people, that stuff was traumatizing.
Yeah, any little creak.
Especially because it was a little girl as well. That the devil possessed her. I mean, man, oh man, family.
90 Night says, I have a 2-year-old grandson and notice the baby cartoons are violent.
Absolutely. I was going to say to my son, who is now 15, I was going to say to him the other day, I didn't say it to him, our son, my son. I had him by myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
So I was going to, because we were listening to the radio in the car. We just the radio was on. But what I noticed was that every advert had a sexual connotation about it. They were advertising sausages. One of the adverts was about a sausage. And it was talking about the sausage being covered in mustard and how hot and I love to be covered in this. Oh, but I am a sausage. But it was sexual. Then there was another advert, and again there was sexual innuendo all laced throughout the advert, but it had nothing to do with anything to do with that. And this is what they do.
Yes, that's what they do.
And these things, they condition the mind.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, you're singing the advert, the jingle.
Yes.
That's why it's called a jingle. That's where you get jingle bells, because again, it's satanic. Satan rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's about attracting your mind to a certain thought process. And before you know it, you've taken on board some of these notions, some of these ideas, some of these concepts that you've picked up through
Yes.
the movies.
That's right.
You see, through the adverts.
I can see, I don't want to say their name wrong. Velasquez said, newest madness is Smile or Smile 2, triggering schizophrenics in movies, making madness.
Say it again, beloved. Read again.
The newest madness is Smile or Smile 2, triggering schizophrenics in movies,
Absolutely.
making madness.
I've heard of that, Smile. I've heard of that. And yeah, these things have a profound effect. And when you hear about all these mass shootings in America and all these people just like they're just losing their minds, don't be surprised if they're not being ill affected by a lot of these things that they're watching, that they're seeing.
Call of Duty, all these
All of that,
things.
all of that.
Training the mind.
What's the other one that a lot of the black children do? Grand Theft Auto and all these kind of things.
And they're supposed to be games.
Yeah, and they're very destructive, beloved. And the enemy knows what he is doing. This is the point.
Of course, absolutely.
He knows exactly what he's doing. And what he's doing is he's conditioning people, conditioning the mind of the people to embrace evil, to embrace negativity, to embrace
the dark side.
Right.
Remote admin JJ2 said From is another one.
From, yeah, I've heard of that one as well. I've heard of that one as well. Yeah. And so, family, whether it's images of the complete destruction of present-day Gaza, or historical images of the atomic bomb explosions that were dropped on Japan and devastated the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the intention is the same, to engender fear.
That's right.
Fear. You and I are being fed a diet of fear.
That's right.
And there's a reason why so many of us really don't believe that we can ever challenge this white man, because all we've ever seen from him is what he's able to do to other people who look like us, who are indigenous like us. And when you look at the state of Gaza in 2023, 2024, look at what this man has been allowed to do in the full view of the world population with impunity, and backed up by the mass media of this world, and backed up by the so-called most powerful government on the planet, the United States of America, backed up by Britain, backed up by Germany, backed up by most of these European countries. See? But then understand that when he dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing hundreds of thousands of human beings and contaminating the land for hundreds of years and destroying outright those cities, what has been the recompense? What has he ever even had to apologize? Has he ever had to pay reparations? Has he had to stand trial for those crimes? Because those are crimes against humanity. No, he hasn't. In fact, he has been celebrated and he has been raised to the status of the Don Gorgon on the planet, the most powerful nation, and to be feared by everybody else. And so today, most of us, we're just cowardly in the face of this evil because we don't believe that anyone or anything can challenge him. Hence the story of David and Goliath.
That's right.
You see, because he defeats everybody. He defeats everything. He destroys everybody. He destroys everything. But there's a little David out there, family. That little musician called Farrakhan. Farrakhan. And I'm saying, beloved family, we better get with the program, man, because we're getting closer and closer to a very decisive time period in which we're all living. And you got to know who this man of sin is and how we are being fed a diet of fear. And if you fall for it and you become so cowardly and so fearful that you want to go along to get along, then you're finished. It's all over. It's all over for you. In the Holy Quran, chapter 16, verse 51, entitled The Bee, it says, and Allah has said, take not two gods. He is only one God, so me alone should you fear. The enemy's sole objective is to make and to keep the members of the human family in perpetual fear of his evil for control purposes. He controls us through fear.
That's right.
And I'm saying, family, you should only fear Allah. You should only fear God. Don't fear this devil, man. What does the scripture say? Resist the devil and he will flee from you.
Right.
But that's just not you getting up one day and using some bravado. No, that's you wrapping yourself up with God.
That's right.
Building your faith in God.
You'll be tested over and over.
Absolutely. And then you say, depart from me, Satan. You stand in the face of the enemy. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But that's his mode of operation. He gets everybody terrified. And even though I know some will say, oh, I'm not scared. Don't be a liar. Stop lying.
Fear is natural.
Yeah, it's natural, but it's also, believe it or not, it's also unnatural to the original man. We are only made to fear God.
That's right.
We should not have no natural fear of anything or anyone else. That fear is manufactured.
Yes.
That fear has been induced by these images that we've been looking at, whether they are in real life of bombs that they've dropped on other nations, countries that they've destroyed, people that they've assassinated. You know, I was looking at Ibrahim Traore the other day, and then they were talking about, you know, the kind of footsteps that he's following in, you know, Sankara before him in Burkina Faso and Muammar Gaddafi, and, you know, what happened? They were all assassinated. So they were sort of cautioning, oh, you know, he's got to be so careful because he's walking that same road. But you see, family, again, I say, this is where you got to wrap yourself up with the God, man, and build your faith and build your courage and walk as a man, walk as a woman. Having no fear, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was saying at the beginning of our program this evening. And so, in closing, we have to hear from the man of God because, you know, to me, the answers that he gives to these profound questions, very simple. Absolutely. It's really quite simple, and it just needs to be understood, and then it needs to be carried into practice. And practice will make us perfectly fearless. Practice will make us to know that we should fear no one and nothing but God. Fear me and me alone, says Almighty God Allah. Go ahead,
And that's
sister.
what I was going to add, that you have that initial fear,
Yes.
then you've got to stand up.
Yeah, it's not that something won't make you
Yes.
afraid initially,
right.
but when you feel that fear come up, man, that's
Yeah,
when you
that's
gotta
the point.
you
Yes.
gotta resist that
Yes.
fear. Yeah, and call on that courage, call on the God within yourself. Don't punk out to fear, don't
That's
give
right.
in to
But
fear.
you will have it naturally. It naturally comes up.
Yes.
But as you said, don't punk up.
Don't punk out to it. Don't punk out to it. Praise be to Allah. Family.
This questioner writes, you often mention that you live in the fear of Allah. Why? Shouldn't we live in God's love?
Of course, we always live in God's love, but the scripture says the beginning of wisdom is not the love of God. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. Now, you don't fear God like you stand trembling, but what you fear is the power of God to punish. You know, when you get in trouble with your dad, and you know he can lace your shoes up for you, it ain't that you're afraid of dad, but when you get him angry, you're afraid of what his anger kindled against you can do. We're not afraid of God in that sense. We adore him, we love him, but we're afraid of his chastisement. And it is the fear of God's chastisement that keeps us walking the straight path as we grow in his love.
Thank you, beloved family. I pray that you really understood what we were attempting to share with you this evening, and that you won't allow yourself to be caught up in Halloween, in Easter, in Christmas,
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's. None of these things, dear family, all of it can be traced right back to those pagans.
That's right.
In those hills and in those cave sides of Europe. And so I thank you, and may Allah bless you and protect you and guide you and give you his wisdom, his knowledge, his power.
That's right.
That you can be among those who can call yourself the overcomer. You know, because that's what we have to do. We have to be among those who can be the overcomers.
That's right.
We have to be among those who will be able to push back against the world like this and not succumb to the world, not be consumed by this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's all about the way we think. And we mustn't feed on the wrong mind food, because then it will have us thinking wrong all the time. And if you imagine sitting in front of a screen and being afraid, just think about how ridiculous that is, to sit watching a horror film and being terrified. Stop it. If they can make you do that, that means you're never going to be able to face a reality and not be afraid. If you can be scared of a screen, see, not that, and I'm not encouraging you to watch these things, because I don't watch them. I'm not afraid of them. I can assure you, I'm not afraid. But I don't watch foolishness. That's my point. Or that which is designed to condition me into being a punk, into being afraid of my own shadow. Come on, man. So, family, thank you. That's what Halloween is all about. People coming to your door, knocking, talking about trick or treat. not having a clue what they are engaged in or involved in, but it's satanic.
That's right. And I'll add to that. Ronald Thompson said, the influence of the white is so powerful that celebrating Halloween in Japan and other Southeast Asian countries.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
all over the world.
Absolutely. You remember when we was in the Gambia?
Yes.
And then in the, solid black country like that, all of a sudden we're seeing Christmas tree going up. And we went away to get away from Christmas.
Yeah. But we
My
said
goodness.
one day soon, people wonder what was Christmas, what was Easter,
That's right.
what was Valentine. All these things are going. They're all going.
That's right.
But thank you very much, Brother Leo Muhammad.
Praise be to
Don't
Allah.
forget, tune in to the Final Call Radio 24 hours a day, 7
days
a week. And feed your mind on God, the right guidance. This is how we make a change in our lives, by feeding on truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. And as I said before, if you find it difficult to read, you can push a button, get the digital edition,
And it will
push a
read,
button, and it
read
will
for
read for you. But in the meantime, let's all keep practicing
our reading.
Yes,
and don't
you need to
forget, practice your writing as well.
absolutely practice writing, and
Keep that skill.
absolutely, because too much of this texting and then don't know how to use, because it all connects the mind and the pen.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, tune in to media.noi.org and listen to a fantastic lecture. And there was a lecture, don't forget, re-watch student minister Ishmael Muhammad's Atonement. I haven't got the title. I should have put it up. On the 13th of October, he delivered it on behalf of the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That is a serious lecture to study, talking about the end of the end.
That's right.
Let's all feed our minds on God's knowledge, wisdom, to get the understanding. We may not even understand everything we hear, but the key is have the faith, as you said. Keep the faith, just keep going. There's so many things we don't understand in life, but it doesn't mean that we must come off the path. Just keep going. Eventually we will have that understanding, and there'll be something else we don't understand, but we just keep the faith and keep going. May Allah, God, guide, protect, and bless you all wherever you are on the planet Earth. Once again, we thank you for your time. Time is very valuable today. Money, you can get money, but you can't get time. So let's really strive.
That time has passed.
Once it's passed, it's passed. So let's really use this life that we're blessed. It's a gift. This is the gift. And this is the house of God. Let's really value it, look after it, appreciate it, and don't look at what you see others have. Thank God for what you have. We're all blessed.
Yes.
Take care and have a blessed day or evening or morning, wherever you are on the planet. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, beloved. Thank you, family. Take care.